Tomorrow, President Biden expected to announce a pathway to permanent legal status for hundreds of thousands of migrants who've been living in the U.S. for at least 10 years and are married to U.S. citizens. The plan would reportedly change existing laws which prevent illegal migrants from obtaining green cards. Meanwhile, the New York Post reports that agencies in 49 states are providing voter registration forms to migrants without requiring proof of citizenship. Migrants can access welfare benefits and even mail ballot voter registration forms. 19 states and Washington, D.C. allow non-citizens to obtain driver's licenses. Joining me now is Texas Congressman Roger Williams. He's the chairman of the House Small Business Committee and a member of the House Financial Services Committee. Congressman, good morning.
Morning, Cheryl. How are you?
I'm good. So one of the things that the Post details in a very lengthy look at how this is happening in these 49 states, look, it says there's no requirement on federal voting forms to provide proof of citizenship. Millions of migrants with humanitarian parole, refugee, or asylum status are eligible for benefits that brings them to the offices where voter registration takes place. Is this a concern for you? And what could be done in Congress to make sure that we do have election integrity?
Yeah. Well, it's a total concern. I mean, you're supposed to be a citizen to vote. We're tearing that apart. We're losing our borders. And, you know, as you mentioned, I chair the Small Business Committee. For example, we oversee the SBA and the Small Business Administration, a pillar of the community, of the government for many, many years. We just found out the other day that they're signing memo of understandings with the state of Michigan, for example, to go out and take their assets from Main Street America, the SBA, take the SBA people, and go out and start registering people to vote, in case of Michigan, in Flint and Detroit. I mean, this is just totally wrong. The SBA has no purview over elections. They're supposed to be taking care of Main Street America and helping small businesses be in business and stay in business. And these are the problems we got. And when you approach these people, they won't even talk to you. And we had to issue subpoenas the other day, first subpoenas issued out of the Small Business Committee in 20 years to get these people to talk to us about why are they issuing and signing memos of understandings with other states. And when you bring somebody like their chief of staff in, 100 questions, he says, I don't know. So that tells you right there they're not operating in good faith. So it's a real problem, and we're rewarding bad behavior in this country rather than good behavior. It's want to affect our elections, but, you know, that's why we've got to get voters out. We've got to get people engaged, and we've got to take agencies like the SBA and get them back on track.
I think that's interesting about the SBA's role in all of this.
Yeah.
Small businesses, obviously, is the main driver of employment opportunities for these illegal migrants, to be clear. But I want to ask you, I was looking at some comments from the Heritage Foundation and Heritage Action, which is actually their sister group. And what they said about this, and I think this is key to bring up, they say it's undeniable that the current structure makes it possible for illegal immigrants and non-citizens to vote. And the American people have no way of knowing how widespread the problem may be.
Well, we have to fix it. I mean, the founding fathers said when you're a citizen, you vote. And the truth of the matter is, we have to pass some legislation in Congress to stop this nonsense, this runaway giveaway of rewarding bad behavior. So there is some role Congress has to play. We have to be able to identify it, and that's the reason it's important that, from a Republican and conservative standpoint, that we get the House, the Senate, the White House in November.
All right, I want to bring in Liz Peek on set. Just got a question for you, sir.
Congressman, you said a moment ago that you didn't think this would affect the election, but it isn't just the SBA. Joe Biden's White House put out a directive to all federal agencies several months ago, instructing them to do exactly what you're talking about. Take their workforce and go and sign up, register voters across the country. And of course, this is like Zuckerbucks, right? It's not going to be that they're registering rural voters in Michigan. They're going to go to Detroit and register voters. And that's going to be the case across the country. So I don't see how it cannot affect the election. I hope you're right. But number one, can Congress sue to stop this? And number two, how can it not affect the election?
Well, no, it can affect the election, but we have to begin to understand what's happening and stop it. And what we need to do in Congress, other committees, other than, say, my Small Business Committee, other committees that have jurisdiction, they need to get involved and see what those committees are doing and begin to put a stop to it. We're building a case in this particular case, in this model of the SBA, we're building a case so states begin to create lawsuits and sue and stop this nonsense. But we have an election coming up in November. It's fast and furious. Everybody's trying to run to the finish line. But other committees like mine need to get involved of their jurisdiction. They do the same thing we're doing, bring people in and talk to them and help the states build a case to stop this.
Can I just interrupt you and ask one thing? Are you going to stop the SBA from doing this? Are you capable?
Well, yes. Well, we're capable of building a case for the states to stop it. But we have to bring this out. I mean, if we hadn't brought this out, a lot of people wouldn't know about it. Yeah. Biden, you're exactly right, is asking the other agency to do the same thing. Well, but it's got to stop. It's wrong. It's wrong for the American people.
I'm almost out of time with you. I'm almost out of time, but I do want to ask you just real quick to pivot to something else that does relate to what we're talking about here. And so Kellyanne Conway was on with Maria yesterday on Sunday Morning Futures, and she asked her about basically the state of the Republican Party in a broader sense and about unifying the Republican Party. I want you to listen to this and react.
The thing that's going on is Trump is the unifier that Biden said he would be. He's unifying the party. He's got people who said they never support him and vote for him standing next to him. And here's what Trump's really doing that's smart. Not only is he going in and not only is he speaking up, putting up and standing up, he's showing up. When you show up into a community that you're going to win 15%, 20, 25% only, you're showing America that every vote counts. You want to be the president of all Americans.
Congressman, you mentioned that November is right around the corner. Your reaction to what Kellyanne just said?
Well, I think she's right. I travel all over the country speaking as chairman. I have people come to me and say, I didn't vote for him, I don't like him, but I'm going to vote for him this time. Policy does matter, and Trump's policy was as good as anything we've ever had. But the party is becoming unified. There is no choice. It is socialism versus capitalism. I mean, the bottom line is that it's survival of Main Street America against big government. It's an election. It frankly is the most important of our lifetime. And I think you see the Republican Party joining together, and I think you see people beginning to turn. And I think he's doing the right thing and going where people have not gone before from a Republican Party standpoint. And getting votes and just talking about open markets, competition, free markets, capitalism, etc. That is totally taking us to a socialistic agenda with the Biden administration. So I believe we're going to be in great shape. I believe we win the House. I believe we win the Senate. I believe we win the White House in November.
Okay. Congressman Roger Williams, it's always great to speak with you. And thanks for all the information on the SBA. That was really interesting. Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you. Okay.